This is going to be our first fingerprint trap out here.
Might have twisted the lid a little bit. Might have to back it off to.
That's our lid to our peanut butter jar. We're going to screw that peanut butter jar right on there.
Ah, there we go.
That's cool.
And we've got the bottom cut out of that peanut butter jar. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of corn, some sweet corn, and shove it up in there with the peanut butter.
Oh, that is such a cool idea.
And then we're going to take this rag. Here, I'll take the drill from you there, Eric. And we're gonna now you can just wipe it off. It's just a matter of wiping any oil and fingerprints off the outside of that jar. We'll wipe that down really good, get it free of any fingerprints, and hopefully if Bigfoot or wild Indian or something comes along and sticks his hand in there to get that peanut butter or that sweet corn, he's liable to touch the outside of that jar and leave us a good fingerprint. It's about 5.5 feet, maybe a little more off the ground. We'll put them at various heights. We've got about a dozen jars to do this with. We're going to try all different baits. Bacon grease and fruit and bread and different meats and everything. So that's our idea. If we back off out of here, you can see it's just in a neat spot up here on the top of this hill, and it's going to hopefully be something that isn't intimidating or scare or anything, and might just, with that smell of that sweet corn and that peanut butter, attract something up there, and we'll check it for fingerprints at a later date. If we get a fingerprint trap hit several times and we get some fingerprints, then we'll think about setting a trail camera up to watch that specific bait. But for now, we're going to set about a dozen of these traps out with different various baits and see what happens. What do you think, guys? Is that going to work?
That's going to work good.
Good job. First one is out. We're looking down in the sinkhole cave on the back of our property. You can see the entrance to the cave way down in there. And this is, boy, that's almost 20 feet deep, this hole. And the Indians used to use this, of course, because we've got all these giant grapevines. This is a grapevine right here in front of me, and it goes up every direction all over the place right here. Nut trees everywhere, a pawpaw tree here. Lots of places where the Indians had stored and used food here, probably stored food in the cave. But we're going to put our second fingerprint trap up here on this tree. Eric's got the screw and the lid to our next fingerprint trap. He's putting it up about 6.5, 7 feet tall almost. 6.5 feet up in the air.
About 6.5.
Yeah.
I'm 5'9".
And this time
you can have that lovely.
Darlene's handing them the bait. We've got venison meat and blood that we poured in there, venison blood, in there with that bait, and we're going to screw that in place, wipe it down make it free of fingerprints, so that we can check it for fingerprints when we come back another day.
Yeah, flies already flying around it.
It's attracting flies. That's a good sign. So he's going to wipe it free of fingerprints now. And that's the second fingerprint trap we put out this morning. That should get him, he says. What do you think, Darlene? That'll get him? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's camera shy. All right, we're out of here. Putting up fingerprint trap number 3. Out on the back of Ted's land. Eric's screwing the lid onto the tree. Darlene's got the bait over there. And what do we got in there? We've got
hamburger, bread.
Covered in bacon grease.
Covered in bacon grease. Yep, in a jar that has still some peanut butter in it.
Yep.
You can see we've got the lid, or the bottom, taken right out of that jar.
And something's laughing at us.
He's getting a phone call. We've got our 4th fingerprint trap set. We've got some nasty smelling cheese in there, some old Colby cheese that went bad. And that's really going to smell good. And we've got some sweet corn in there, and it's in another peanut butter jar, so you can see the peanut butter around the jar. Now Eric's wiping it down to get rid of any fingerprints we might have on the jar, so we can check that when we come back someday. And now this is out back on the back of section 3. We're in an old creek bed. You can see the creek bed here, and right down here is a pool of water. Some of the little bit of water has been particularly dry, and it's got a bunch of little fish in it. So we've got a food source with the fish, we've got the water, and a nice cool place for a big old hairy Bigfoot to cool down a little bit. Get a fish snack and maybe munch on some cheese to go with it. And Eric's going to clean out a spot here, remove some rocks, see if we can't expose some mud, so that we might get a footprint to go with the fingerprints. So we'll see if he can't loosen up some soil here that will give us a footprint too. And you can see the waves, the ripples from the little fishes in here. Some of them are 4, 5, maybe 6 inches long.
Yeah.
A lot of them are smaller, but some of them are nice little snack for something.
There you go. That'll give you a good.
Not bad.
That should give you a good print.
Excellent. Cool. We'll leave it. Come back another day.